I'm Scott Gilbert. This is my son Marcus Gilbert, and together we're Rusted Bull Custom Metal. I graduated from Arizona State back in 1982. I got an education degree. I wanted to be a football and a PE teacher. Back then, I think teachers were getting maybe $12,000 a year or $13,000 a year, so I was looking for a different option. I worked for the Seattle Mariners. I was the equipment manager for 11 years. I got a long resume of different jobs that I've had. We had actually gone to a party, my wife and I, and at the party on the back patio there was a metal fire pit. And I looked at it and I asked the guy, and I said, that's a neat fire pit. I mean, where'd you get that? And he says, well, my father-in-law made it in his garage. He does that kind of stuff, you know, as a hobby. And he was at the party, so I went and talked to him, and he says, yeah, I got a little welder and a little plasma cutter, and I just make things in the garage. And so I told my wife, I go, man, I can do that. I took a class out at the Mesa Arts Center, beginning welding. And I quickly grasped it. I'm pretty handy. I can do a lot of things, you know, but went to the class and figured out I could do it. So I went home and bought a welder on eBay and started putting things together. And eventually we grew and became busier and busier. And I brought my son on. When he got out of the Marine Corps, he went to welding school and came to work for his dad.
I tried the college route, the traditional, going to some community college for a while.
Sleeping in the parking lot in your car,
I ended up
not
just
going to
sleeping
class?
In the parking lot. I would get up and I would drive to school and I would just sit in the car all day just because I didn't like it so much, and figured something had to change. And so me and my dad walked into a recruiter's office and said, we don't care what's open, sign me up. I did my 4 years and then I got out. I did one deployment in 2012 over in Afghanistan. That was interesting. And when I came back, decided that was a good enough life experience for me for that point in time, and opted to EAS, end of active service. Went back to school for welding and then got my degree in welding. It's definitely interesting how we would both be into the same trade at pretty much the same time. It's one thing to grow up with a dad who was welding his whole life, and then naturally you pick up welding, but to have us both discover this interest right around the same time, it's cool.
Love working with my son. Not too many people get to do that sort of thing. We do fencing, art pieces for inside homes, all the way to a planter out in the middle of the yard. We're local, we're father and son, we're a small business. Give us a call and we'll try to make a neat piece for you.